so many different things.
How do you evaluate your group's play through 2 games?
Yeah, I think there was some obvious things that we've improved on, but there's some obvious things that we need to keep working on and keep honing in on those details and keep trying to get better in all facets of the game. But one thing that's consistent is the want to, the effort, and what we emphasize as coaches they're going to do. So that's all you can ask for.
What was the obvious thing you improved on?
I mean, they're kind of minute details as far as footwork, both in the run game and the pass game. Fundamentally, a bunch of different things. I thought mentally we're taking the next step as far as just conceptually what we're knowing, what we're learning in the offense, and then situational football. So we'll just keep getting better and better at those things.
Riley's had a lot of targets,
Yeah.
short yardage type things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how good has he been at just, kind of taking advantage of those opportunities?
Yeah, I think part of it is, the type of person and player he is. We want to try to get him the football, but it goes into just him doing his job every play in all facets of the game. And when you do that and you're consistent, the ball will find you.
Home openers are special.
Yeah.
In college football, you've probably had a lot of great memories of home openers. What are some of those, Nate?
Home openers. Was Oregon in 08? 09? Yeah, was that a home opener? That was pretty special. Anytime you're on the blue, it's significant and it's memorable. Home opener or not, I mean, this is a very special place for a reason. So I don't remember games as much as just moments, and especially those home games in front of our great fans.
Can you tell that there's extra energy this week or anything? Just knowing after you guys were like one of 10 teams that had to play 2 road games first, and just to finally get a home game for the fans?
Yeah, I think we try to do a great job of bringing that type of energy every week, but I think they understand the opportunity that we have to play in front of, at home in front of our fans, and how that provides just that extra juice and what we got to do to protect the blue. That's what it's all about.
You as run game coordinator, it
Yep.
seemed like that second half of the New Mexico game, things really picked up and you guys were able to get Ashton more involved and George had a couple nice runs. I mean, what was working so well in that second half?
I think a big part of it was just our guys starting to get in rhythm and starting to get a feel for what they were doing defensively. And that's part of the run game. It's a process. It gets better as the game goes on. I thought the offensive line played great, played physical, handled a lot of different looks, a lot of movement, and so something definitely we can build off of and something that we're going to keep hammering.
How impressive has Ashton been?
As a true freshman, very impressive, very impressive. I think he's got tremendous skill set. I love him as a person, who he is, the toughness that he shows, and he just loves the game of football. So it's exciting.
What is he like? I mean, we haven't really got the chance, when he's being recruited, we caught up with him. But what is he like? How is he handling college football and the opportunity that is being provided him?
I think he's handling it great. I think that's what you're seeing out there on the field. I think he's the type of guy that he's the ultimate competitor. So as soon as he steps on that football field, that's a safe place for him, somewhere where he feels comfortable and he can excel.
Does he seem like a true freshman?
No, not at all. It's just the way he plays the game. He plays it beyond his years, and he's going to continue to keep getting better. That's the crazy part. That's the great part.
Coach Blau was mentioning that, Hank in the New Mexico game, I think audibled like 26 times, and, all of them were spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen his confidence grow in the last, 10 days or whatever?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was very impressed by the way Hank handled himself in that game and how he's able to operate, keep the offense on track, and just stay locked in mentally. I think it's very unique, his skill set in that way. It's very impressive.
Well, I know this kind of seems like an elementary question, but when he goes to the line, he audibles.
Mm-hmm.
He does it almost on a third of the plays. I mean, how pivotal is that to the offense having success, being able to adjust the line when they need to?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just getting our guys in a position to succeed. So him being able to do that is going to help us get in the best possible play.
You mentioned protecting the blue earlier. Obviously,
Yeah.
you were here last year, but they lost 3 home games. I mean,
Yeah.
what you obviously blood, sweat, and tears on that field yourself. What's it mean in terms of the whole protect the blue? And I know you guys always emphasize it, but is there something about this year and on Saturday starting off, kind of getting back to where teams come in here knowing they have no chance to win?
Definitely, I think we got to have a 1-0 mentality every week. You're trying to win, but like I've said before, it's just when you're playing at home in front of our fantastic fans, it's just means something different. There's so much to it, and I think there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride in how we operate, what we do on the blue, and that's going to translate as we go. But I think our guys know that. But it just goes back to this great city, this university, and the great fan base, trying to do our best for them.
Go back to the play the touchdown that Riley almost hauled in.
Yeah.
How did he kind of handle bouncing back from that? Because it was almost a great play and just.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about him because the very next play, he had a big block to spring our touchdown. So I think that's a perfect example of how he is and how he responds, and a good thing for our young guys to learn from too.
Is he truly becoming that tight end that you don't have to take off the field because he can?
That's part of the process right now. That's always the hope for every guy in my room. I think he's continuing to improve and getting better, but I know he's not satisfied, and he wants to keep finding those new things that he can evolve at, get better at, and help us with.
We're not at every practice, but I feel like we've seen him in the hype circle as much as we've seen anybody this year.
Yeah, I think he's taken the next step as a leader. Guys respect the way he just goes about his business, the way he works, and I think he's finding that confidence to be vocal and provide that leadership, not just within our room, but within our offense, within the team. So that's something that we're building with him, that we're encouraging him to continue to do.
Why is Riley so good at relating to? It feels like he's really good at relating to different people. Why is he so good at that?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. Couldn't give you a detailed answer. I just think he's just a great person, and he genuinely cares about people, and that makes it pretty easy to relate to him.
What are the conversations on a week-to-week basis with you and Coach Plow? I mean, obviously, he's a guy who comes from a background of wanting to throw the ball all over the field, and you're a guy, run game coordinator, trying to, get the run game. I mean, what's that balance and conversations about, kind of attacking a week?
I think it's continuous.
Okay.
There's hundreds every day that go on, but it just goes back to doing what's best for our team, for our offense, and putting our guys in positions to be successful.
Nate, are you the eyes in the sky, if you will, for the offense, pretty much?
Yeah, yep. I'm up in the box.
How do you like that role?
No, I like it. It's important. I'm trying to do the best I can in that role and get better at it because it is very important for our offense. And I take pride in being able to do that, and I know I'm going to get better and better as we go.
Stats don't always tell the story, I get it, but Genty's had better stats than George, 2 straight games, essentially.
Yeah.
Have you seen that push George? I mean, how is George handling that? I mean,
Yeah, I think you can kind of twist and turn stats any way you want. I think both those guys are competitors, and I think we know how talented both Ashton and George are, so we're trying to get them the ball as much as possible.
I was going to ask you one more about kind of going back to the eyes in the sky thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim likes being on the sideline. You can see, like, he gets around between position groups and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, I guess how important is it that you two work in unison so you could allow him to do that, I suppose?
Yeah, it's important for me to be able to communicate what's going on, what I see, so that he can then communicate it to our players. And he does a great job of not only communicating to our players on the sideline, but being able to see a lot from the sideline. He's very impressive.
I was going more about Tyneal and his
Yep.
blocking ability.
Yep.
I mean, the one specifically, I think on Billy's reverse, he
Yeah.
had a big block to spring him. But what have you seen out of Tyneal, despite the fact not a lot of targets coming this way at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's taken pride and continuing to get better in the run game. I know he's a competitive dude that wants targets just like anybody else, but I think he's taking pride in owning his role. And when you do that, your role always expands. So it was great to see him continue to get better and showing up on film.
I sort of talking with him in the preseason. He talked about he seems to have a pretty selfless approach.
Very, very, yeah. And I think it's not just unique to him. I think that's what's special about our team is guys are willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. And usually when that happens, that will bring the personal success and accolades as long as, they're willing to sacrifice for everybody around them.
How has Tennessee Martin done so far against the tight end position? What have you noticed maybe, obviously, on the tape? I mean, could this be a breakout game for the tight end position group?
I mean, that's what you want every game. They're a very good defense. They have really good players at every position on their defense. So every game is a challenge, and we got to bring our best. And you're hoping that game is the best game we had played up to that point. That's kind of the goal. We keep getting better throughout the season. But they are definitely an impressive defense.
And you spent time at the FCS level.
Yep.
Heck, we just saw Weber State kick the crap out of Utah State
Right.
this week. This stuff happens. And so, I mean, what is the separation now? Is the FCS, in your opinion, if they play well, they can hang with you guys?
I think, not specific to us or anybody else. I think there's good football players and good football teams at every level. And as we all know, watching football on Saturdays and Sundays, you got to be at your very best each and every week.
I know you don't coach him, but I don't know how close you